Hello YouTube. I'm back. I've had a bit of a break for the last probably 5-6 months. Not been in a great place for the last 5 or 6 months. Kind of got to the stage of almost giving up on doing music for various reasons, which I won't bore you with now. I'll save that probably for another video. But yeah, I got very jaded about the whole making music thing, and kind of came to the realization that, you know what, nobody really cares if I'm releasing stuff every month or YouTube videos every week or whatever. And I was putting way too much pressure on myself to keep this content coming out, and I needed a break. Reached a bit of a low point in my life, but I'm kind of coming out the other side of that now, and I'm back. I'm going to have a bit more content. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to say I've got to do a video every week, every month or whatever. There will be videos and so on. So in that respect, let me know what kind of content you would like to see, whether that's just me talking nonsense, some live jams, that kind of thing, tutorials on equipment, software, hardware, and all that kind of nonsense. And also, if you are on supporting me on Patreon, massive thanks for that. Those who are supporting me and continue to support me, let me know what kind of free stuff you would like on there, because I've been putting things on there such as the contents of my Deluge SD card, some sample packs. I've recently just entered the world of NPC, which I'm going to talk about shortly, and yeah, I might be able to put some key group things on there and some expansion packs and that kind of thing. And also a massive thank you, because I have reached 10,000 just topped 10,000 subscribers recently, so massive thanks if you are a subscriber. If you're not and you're new to the channel, then please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification thing so you know when I upload new content. So yeah, I mean, very briefly, over the last 6 months, I kind of got to the stage where I'm thinking I really got fed up of playing live. I think the last gig I did in October was one of these where loads and loads of people said they were going to come out and see me. There were then about 3 people there, and that was just kind of like the end of me saying, you know what, I can't be bothered with this anymore. I kind of got to the stage of thinking, just what's the point of doing music? It's impossible to get people to listen to it. It's impossible to get people to come out and see it. And I got a little bit about what's the point of life in general. It was just like I'd reached a very low point, which I did get some help and still having some help about, but I'm kind of over that and hopefully out the other side. And I'm just taking things steady. I'm putting no pressure on myself to release music. I may never release music as Rezzonator again. I may never actually play live again. Who knows? We'll just see what happens. Never say never, but that pressure has gone for me to kind of do that on a regular basis. In terms of playing live, that's something I'm going to do from my studio more than anything, I think, to start with. And we'll just see where it goes. So what I thought I'd do is just that little introduction to let you know where I've been for the last 6 months. I could talk for 10 minutes about all that, but I won't, because it's not very interesting. But what I thought I'd do is a little update on the studio, because there's a few things have changed, and I'll put a little jam at the end if it works out okay. So I'm going to do a jam. I'll put a timestamp for the jam. If it turns out to be a load of crap, then I won't put it on. So if there's no timestamp for the little jam thing, then it means it was rubbish. So let's go on to this screen for now, and we'll go round. I'll just do a quick tour of everything, just tell you the gear that I've got in here now, and then I'll do a quick demo on how it's connected. And if you want to see a more in-depth kind of video on how everything is actually connected and working, I can do that. If people are interested in that, then stick some comments in the box below and I will certainly do that. So the biggest change in the studio is, which used to be over here, is the Machine Plus has gone. Sold that and I bought an MPC Live 2 instead. I liked the Machine Plus, but I didn't really get on with it that much. I felt like it, CPU on it was not great in standalone mode, and then I started looking at the MPC and I thought, actually, that's got everything that the Machine Plus is missing that it should have. So I've got the MPC Live 2. It's got a touchscreen, which is great, which the Machine Plus didn't have. Obviously, it's got all the loads of connections, which is fantastic. It's got a built-in speaker, which is actually pretty good. You're not going to play a gig with it, but it's got some good bottom end, and for just sitting messing about with some ideas, it's fantastic for that. And I say built-in battery, so I can just sit in the garden and just take it anywhere with me and just jam out a few ideas. So that kind of got me back into making music a little bit, actually, because there's some amazing plugins I've got on there as well. Got a great deal on it secondhand after I sold the Machine Plus. And I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think that and the Deluge are still my two favourite pieces of gear, without doubt. So that's the biggest change, and the MPC is now the centre of the whole studio. So that is controlling absolutely everything. So I've got the this Novation launch key is connected up into here via USB. It's taking power from there. And I've got it set up that I can actually play any synth in the studio all from here. So I don't have to keep turning around and change stuff. I can do it all from here, which is great. So yeah, let's just go around. So we've got that. We've got a modular over here, which is a mixture of some Behringer and Dope for stuff and a few other Dreadbox things. Second section of the modular is over here, which is basically just the Model D and the Moog Mavis. We've got an MS-20 over there. We talked about the Novation thing here. There is a Microfreak just here. Here we've got the TR6S drum machine. Up on the top here, Uno drum and Uno synth. Under here, which you can't really see, but there's like a cheap Depu Sheng 16-channel mixer, which I got for about 180 quid off Amazon. It's actually not bad. It does the job. It's got some built-in effects. It's got a nice built-in EQ on it, and I just needed more channels for routing everything in here, which is why we'd got that. Carrying on round, we've got a Microbrew over here. Next to that, we've got the Korg NTS-1, which I'm not actually using as a synth. I'm basically using it as an effects box because the reverbs and the delays on there are brilliant. So I've got that set up as an auxiliary send and return to the desk down here. So anything that's going through the desk, I can send over to the NTS and stick some luscious reverb and that kind of stuff on it. Over here, we've got the Korg Minilog. We've got the System 8, which is doing its party flashing light thing. Under here, we've got a little rack with Volcas on. We've got the Volca Mix and Volca New Bass under there. MX1, which is acting as the main audio interface when I want to record into the computer. That's just sort of in mixer mode. So basically the stereo output from the mixer under here goes into channels 1 and 2 on here. And then I've got a few other things going into here, such as the TD3 and Deluge and whatever. And that enables me then to record everything into the computer. Basically what I was going for is kind of like a hybrid doorless and door... not opposite, whatever the opposite of doorless is setup. So I can come in and play just with stuff off the MPC without turning the computer on, which is great. But if I want to then record, I can just siphon everything into Ableton and record stuff. And I've also got it synchronized up so that when I press play on the MPC, the MX1 starts playing and that sends clock into Ableton as well. So everything is also synchronized into the computer if necessary. I've got an Alesis Nano Verb over here, which is I'm using as a send and return effects box for the MX1, mostly for reverb, because this has got a decent delay in it. There is a Pioneer DJ controller over there, because I do a bit of DJing as well. And then round this side, this is kind of like the area where I would sort of often stand and play live. We've got the Behringer TD3, we've got the Roland TB03, we've got the Deluge there, we've got the Yamaha drum pads, because I am actually a drummer. That is my main line of work. I'm a drum teacher, also teach piano and music tech and DJing as well. But when I'm performing live, generally I will do quite a lot of drumming. So that can be just like drumming of normal drum sounds, or like drumming, playing bass lines on there and that kind of thing. Usually triggering samples from the Deluge and the MPC rather than the internal sounds. Couple of MIDI controllers. Got the it's getting a bit old now, the Complete Control S25, the original version of that, which is connected up to the computer for playing VSTs in Ableton, and then that one's not doing anything at the moment, but the M32 there as well. And that's basically all the gear that we've got in here. So what I thought I'd do for this next section is just talk a little bit about the Model D and how that is doing its thing. Not the Model D, so I'm looking at Model D on there, the MPC. So, I've got this set up so this can basically control any of the gear in the studio. So, I've got CV and gates coming out of here. There's 4 coming out here, which is controlling various bits on the modular. I've talked before about this just being connected by USB. I've got a USB hub going into the second USB connection on here, which is actually powering then the Microfreak, the two Unos, and the TR6. So that's great. I've got basically, you know, one, not having to plug all those in separately, which is fantastic. And then I've got this template set up in here, which you won't be able to see very well. You probably won't be able to see at all. But the first one on channel 1 is the Model D. So as I play on here, that's playing the Model D, and then just turn the dial and we're playing the Mavis. Then as we go through, that's the Platts. That's another thing from the modular. That's again, another CV gate. That's playing the dope for modules and stuff on there. Again, I'm not going to go into detail about what the modular, how it's all set up. If you want to see that, then let me know and I'll do another video on that. MS-20. Turn it again. We've got playing the System 8, which is obviously over the other side of the studio. But then we've got the TD3, which is being sent out to a shitload of reverb and delay, which sounds great though. The great thing with this is you can kind of, you know, you can get a bit of dynamics with it. Microfreak then on the next channel. And the great thing with the MPC is I can send program change messages and just scroll through different programs without actually having to move away from here. And that works for most of the synths, works great on the Uno, works great on the Minilog. The System 8 for some reason doesn't like it because it's to do with the banks and stuff, so that's something I've got to have a look at. Next one, we've got the TB03. That's then the Minilog, so again we could scroll through different presets. Then we've got the new bass. Next we've got the Microbrute. The Deluge. And then the Uno synth. Again, we can go through presets. And so on. We've got the Pluck, which is another module in here. Kind of like a nice kind of plucky sort of sound, which is why it's called Pluck. And then this one is Behringer clock. So this one is just sending out just a clock message from the gate into this, the Behringer sequence here. So I can, just as I tap on here, you can see that's triggering each step of that sequence. So I can kind of get more of a rhythmic sequence from that. And then all the pitch information and stuff is coming from there. So that works really well. I got an 808 on here. And a 909, that's just from the internal sounds on here, just to give me quick instant access to the pads on there. And obviously I can play, I don't have to use the keyboard. These will play, the pads obviously I can play, so there's the System 8 and that's the MS-20, so I can play off the pads as well, which works really well. So that's kind of how I've got it set up. I just have that template. Let's go back onto that one. And it just kind of works. Everything is connected together. I can just come in, just switch all these on, turn the MPC on, and I can have a jam, no computer needed. And it's great. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment with the channel. That's where my studio is at the moment. I hope that was of some interest. I know it's just a lot of me talking for about 15 minutes, but hey, stick around. There will hopefully be a jam coming up after this, if it turns out okay or not. So thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you sometime sooner than 6 months, when I think it was the last time I did a video. So thanks for watching, and thanks for the continued support, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.